Hi, this is Rainer Stropek speaking. I'm an Azure MVP, and today I would like to show you how you can set up a Windows Azure website with continuous delivery with Team Foundation services in the cloud. To start with it, we log in to manage.windowsazure.com. If you don't have a Windows Azure account yet, well, I think you should grab one. And I have an existing account. You can get one 90 days for free, but I will sign in with my existing account. And on the second tab, I will launch Team Foundation Services running in the cloud. The URI is tfs.visualstudio.com. As you can see, I already registered for Team Foundation Services, and therefore I can browse to account, and it tells me the URI of my Team Foundation server. This Team Foundation services, they are running in the same infrastructure that Windows Azure is running on, and they can be integrated quite nicely. So here we are. Here you see the Team Foundation service, and as you can see, this is a brand new account, so I don't have any team project set up yet, and I will do that now. So click on New and run a new team project, create a new team project. Let's call this one Windows Azure website. No, let's call it Company Extranet, something like this. This will be my Company Extranet. As you can see, just in regular TFS, you can select a process template. I will go for Microsoft Visual Studio Scrum 2.1 and hit Create Project. This will take a few minutes. You see, the team project creation has been scheduled, and in the meantime, we go to the Windows Azure portal again. And here you see I have currently also no website set up. It's also a brand new area. If you are not familiar with Windows Azure website, you should really check it out. It's a great platform as a service offering from the Windows Azure team. You can deploy your websites either being on .NET technology or PHP or Node.js or whatever you like. You can deploy it using, for instance, FTP, or if you want to use Visual Studio with web deploy and similar mechanisms. So very lightweight mechanism. You can get up to 10 websites for free. But if you have never seen it, really check it out. It's a great service. So for our purposes here, we create a new website, and let's call this one Company Extranet. And let's see if this one is, no, it's still available. So take North America, North Europe, that's fine, and hit Create Website. So now we are creating an empty website here, and in a few minutes we are going to connect this website with our newly created team project. Let's go to this team project. Here we have it. As you can see, it's called Company Extranet. And let's go back to the website. The website has also been created. So go into this website. And what we are going to achieve, what we like to achieve, is that we can implement our website, for instance, with any kind of ESP.NET technology. And whenever we check in something on this Team Foundation Services project, the Team Foundation Services server should build the solution. It should run some unit tests on it. If the unit tests are fine, it should deploy the website into Windows Azure website and put it into production. This is what we are going to do here. So for now, we have to connect our Windows Azure website with our Team Foundation Services team project. Set up TFS publishing here. I will copy the URI. Here we are, and we can hit Authorize Now. Authorize Now uses an OAuth 2 protocol, so as you can see, the Windows Azure website portal wants to access our Team Foundation service in our name. So Team Foundation service asks us if it's okay that the Windows Azure website portal uses our existing credentials to connect the definitions of our Team Foundation services project. And of course, we accept that. That's perfectly fine for us. As you can see, the Windows Azure website portal can now access our Team Foundation Services instance. We have one project set up, it's Company Extranet, and we accept that. The system links our team project with our website, and we should wait until it's finished. Very nice. The TFS project is linked. If we go into Visual Studio now, as you can see, the Team Foundation Services server was completely empty before I created the Team Foundation project. So hit refresh, and we're going to see our company extranet. Let's take a look into the company extranet here. What you see is we got, by linking our Windows Azure website with our Team Foundation Services project, we got some build process templates, and this is the one we are interested in. Azure Continuous Deployment.11.SAML. We can even hit double click it. We can even double click it and open it. Let's give it a second. And here we are. As you can see, this is a regular build process template, and of course you could modify it. If you need to, you can change the build workflow here. You could even add additional custom build steps and things like that. The website of Team Foundation Services in MSDN contains detailed guidelines how you can modify this workflow here. Well, in our case, we do a get latest version, fetch the build process templates, and now it should be possible that we create the first projects here in Visual Studio and try to connect it with Team Foundation Services. So in our company extranet here, maybe we can create a new folder, and this folder could be called, I don't know, extranet main, something like this. And inside of this folder we will create a project. So hit file, new project, and here we use web, and I want to make it super simple in this case, so I choose the project where I have my projects online. You see, company extranet, extranet main, that's fine, and call it extranet web. Add this to source control, so we immediately check it in and hit OK. So now we get a very, very simple ASP.NET project. Of course, you can use ASP.NET MVC or things like that, but I want to make it super, super simple for you, so it's very easy that you can follow what I'm doing here. So let's take a look in the Solution Explorer, and we can see we have an empty ASP.NET website here, and of course we need to see something. So let's add a new web form. Let's call it default and say h1. This is hello world, something like this. Okay, save it, and now we can check it in. Yes. Let's see what the system is proposing here. As you can see, it automatically included all my changes, so I see my new extranet web project here and everything's fine. We have the solution and the CS project file, everything's done, so we can check it in here. Now from Visual Studio, we seamlessly send our files directly into Team Foundation Services, our Team Foundation server running in the cloud in Windows Azure. So let's take a look at this project. What happens in the background? Let's go to the Build tab here, and what we see here is that the integration of Windows Azure websites and Team Foundation Services automatically gave me a build definition. Let's take a look at this build definition. The interesting thing here is that the trigger is set to continuous integration. And this means that the build is triggered with every single check-in. And as you can see, we just checked in our initial implementation of our application, and to be honest, with this, I already triggered a build in the cloud. So we didn't have to configure any kind of build server or configure any kind of VMs in Windows Azure or locally. No, the build was automatically triggered here by this build definition. Of course, we could change this build definition. We could, for instance, enable, disable it. We can change the triggers. We can change some more detailed settings. Let me quickly change this one. This was called, how was it called? Let me see here. We call it company extranet drops. That should be fine for me. We could also select this one. Yeah, that's fine. You see, this build definition is connected to the XAML file I've shown you before. This is the workflow that controls the build. Again, you can customize it if you want. It's automatically set to configure that so that it runs tests that have the name test.dll in the file name and things like that. So with this, it should be fine. Save this one. And as you can see, while I was showing you this build definition, our build finally succeeded. We can take a look at the logs here. You see, yeah, everything well, and the system already tells me that it has not only built our solution. I can show you the results here. Let's take a look at this one. So let's go back to the builds. The build was completed successfully, and we can go into our Windows Azure website portal here and take a look at our company extranet website. The Windows Azure portal tells me in the dashboard the URI. Here it is. I hit it, and you see, hopefully, we are live. By triggering the build, by checking in our files, Team Foundation Services automatically triggered the build. The build was successful, no errors, and it deployed the website live into our Windows Azure website. This URI can be used by anyone. It's live, it's there, it doesn't cost you anything if you stay with the free model of Windows Azure website, but still it's very easy to scale out to up to 3 web servers in a web server farm and all the nice things that we know from Windows Azure websites. So what happens if we, for instance, change a little bit in our application? We go to Solution Explorer, open our default ASPX here and change it. Hello, brave new world. We just hit save. We choose check-in. We check in our changes. And that's it. By checking in our changes, we can go to the builds tab here, and you see we have scheduled a new build. When we go to the website here, we see here a menu item that is called build. Please note the star here. The star means that the build service is still in preview. Everything else from Team Foundation Service is live. It's RTV, so you can use it in production. The build service, I mean, you can use it too, but it's still in preview, so you have only limited support. If we can take a look here, we have one build queued. We queued it by checking in our change, and we have one build completed. You see, you have full control over the builds here in the website. So let's take a look how fast this thing goes on. Open it here in Visual Studio and take a look. Yeah, it's looks good. Last time it took us, let's see, it took us how long did it take? It ran for 52 seconds, so it should finish in a few moments. We are running for 83 seconds. The point is that after the build, our website should be automatically updated. We don't have to do anything or deploying the stuff or something like this. It's done completely automatic for us. So let's wait for a few more moments, and that's it. The build is through, and go to the Windows Azure website portal. Hit again the site URI, and it says, hopefully, yeah, hello brave new world. Well, in reality, it could happen that you did something wrong. It might be that this deployment has more bugs than the deployment you had live before. So what you can do, you can go back to Windows Azure websites here and take a look at the deployments. And what you see here is you have the active deployment, and here you have the previous deployment. What you can do is you can activate the previous deployment. So you can mark it here. You can mark it here. Hit redeploy. You're asked if you are sure. Yes, I am sure. And it redeploys the previous version. In fact, what it really did is it triggered a build. So where are we? Here we are. If we go to the queued builds, and you see less than a minute ago we just triggered a new build, the system will automatically take the previous version of our website, it will rebuild it, and it will deploy it again. So in the case that the new version has any kind of critical bugs and we have to step back, that's very simple. You are always in full control over the content of your website. That's an important point. So again, in approximately 1 minute, this build will be through. Of course, it is possible that you run your builds manually. So let's refresh it. Here you see the queued build. If you want, you can easily hit right mouse click and say, hey, queue a new build, and with this you can manually queue a new build if you need to. Might happen that you want to do that, and of course it's possible. So what I want to show you, last one, I want to add a test project here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new project, and in this case I'm going to use a unit test project, and I want to put it here. Let's put it under this one and create, yeah, that's fine, and just call it test projects, tests project, something like this. It's fine, it's just for testing purposes. Here you see we have the unit test project and we have the test method 1, and for demo purposes I add another test method, call it test method 2. I build it locally. I use the test explorer of Visual Studio 2012 and I run all my tests. Looks good, everything's fine. I don't have to change anything in the build. What I'm going to do is now I'm checking in the solution now with our test project. Hit check in, include all changes. And that's it. We have checked in everything. Go to the builds tab here and you see a new build has been queued. What we will see in a few moments is that this time the build contains a test project, a DLL that has the word test in it, and the build server will take this DLL and will execute all unit tests in this DLL. So let's go into the details here. Build is currently sitting in the queue. I think it has been started now. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. It has been started 6 seconds ago, so we have to wait for a few more moments. While we are waiting here, we can use the time at the build output here and simulate a mistake. So what we are going to do is next is we're letting this one fail. Save it, build it locally, run it, and it should fail. Yes, it fails. Well, just to show you what happens, I'm going to check in this change, although this unit test does not work. So, we go to Solution Explorer and check it in. Here you see the change, unit test 1.cs, check it in. And that's it. So let's view the builds. We have one in the queue, and this one is finished. One test run perfectly. And it contains 2 unit tests, test method 1 and test method 2. and the build was successful, and therefore the system has been deployed to our Windows Azure website. But in this case, this is the new build, and with the build request 15 here, we've checked in the unit test with the assert.fail in it. So the build has been started 8 seconds ago, so we have to wait a few more moments. "40 seconds. It's only a question of time." And here we are. The build failed. Why did the build fail? Of course, because we added this assert.fail, and this has not been deployed. It wouldn't be a bad idea to deploy it. And we can take a look at it. Here you see, one test passed and one test failed. The test method 1 failed, and this is the exception, assert.fail failed. You see, building in the cloud is very easy, and if your unit tests succeed, your application will go through and go live immediately. You can use the nice things that you're used to, like branching and things like that. I mean, it's a Team Foundation server running in the cloud, but as you can see, it's very easy to start even from scratch, create a new Windows Azure website, create a new Team Foundation Services project, and use it to create a continuous integration process. If you want to know more, I will publish these slides that I will use tomorrow during a conference here in Munich in Germany. And this slide deck contains a few links to Team Foundation Server, to some important blogs, and to a hands-on lab that shows you how to set up continuous integration. Feel free to download these slides. You will find them tomorrow in my blog. That's software-architects.com. And here see the blog. No, you will see the blog in a few moments. Here it is. And this is my name, Rainer Stropek, and tomorrow I will publish this slide deck, and feel free to download it, feel free to play with it, and I hope that you learned something new, you are excited about Windows Azure websites and Team Foundation services, and yeah, that's it for tomorrow. Hopefully this one was interesting for you. Wish you a nice day. Bye.